everyone. I am Mecha42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and I've been kind of waiting for this article. I've been waiting to see how they spin this and what context they use. This article does kind of confirm what I've been saying, what we have been saying, that Star Trek Discovery seems to be made for people who don't like or watch Star Trek. Now, hear me out. We'll get into the why this is the case when we get further into the article. It's straight from the horse's ass, mouth, is straight from Alex Kurtzman himself, the showrunner, the head honcho, the big cheese, the big crapola himself. Just hear what he has to say. This is kind of interesting. And now keep in mind, this is coming from comicbook.com. So comicbook.com, as you know, acts as the propaganda arm of CBS. They are owned by CBS. So we're getting it straight from them. Star Trek TV head reveals what he's learned from Voyager Deep Space Nine mistakes. Yeah, sure. And of course, we do have this lovely screenshot here of, that's just how the show looks. They love their little crookedy, jolted Dutch angles all over the place. They also love shining lights in your face so you can't see what's going on, so you can't see how, I guess to distract you from the acting and the writing. I don't know, or maybe, I mean, we already know that the show has a lot of that, hey, there's a loud noise and a flashing light, look up from your phone now sort of cues. Let's just get into what he has to say here. Star Trek is going through a new period of expansion with Alex Kurtzman at the head, sadly. While this may seem like cause for joy for Star Trek fans, some are apprehensive. Oh, big apprehension here. Me, this fan right here, big apprehension. And pretty much all of us here. If you're on my channel, you're apprehensive about where Star Trek is going. They remember the 90s, the last big Star Trek boom. Through most of the 1990s, there were 2 Star Trek television series on air and a movie on the way at all times, but that level of content eventually led to burnout and franchise fatigue. The Star Trek franchise's 18-year run on television ended with Star Trek Enterprise was canceled after 4 seasons in 2005, and a film series ended after the negative reaction to Star Trek Nemesis. Alright, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but weren't some of the things that fans reacted negatively to things that Patrick Stewart was kind of excited about and insisted upon? And if I'm remembering correctly, I did see Nemesis in the theater, but this is a while ago since the last time I really sat down and watched it or watched any of the special features. So this is just me remembering something from 2002, but I'm pretty sure that right there is cause for me to be concerned about the Patrick Stewart series. Because he's also said things like, I want this, and I'm going to be on board if this happens and this happens, which is all very, very concerning, because when Patrick Stewart has a lot of creative control, we get Nemesis. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of our minds here. Oh, Lord. With the Star Trek franchise expanding so rapidly, a new show spinning out of Star Trek Discovery was just announced today. Some fans are concerned that Star Trek may be going through another boom and bust cycle. Yeah, but it's more of a bust and bust cycle, isn't it? Because who's really watching this? Except for people like us reviewing it, or people hate watching it. A lot of people aren't really watching it because it's behind the paywall. It's not really well regarded by fans. It's not very well reviewed except by, the critics who just say, oh, it's so woke, or whatever the hell they say about it. But Kurtzman says he's learned from that era of Star Trek and isn't interested in repeating those same mistakes. I want to make sure that each show is a different and unique proposition, Kurtzman said on an episode of the Variety TV Take podcast. I think Deep Space Nine and Voyager got into a tricky spot where people were starting to feel that they can't tell the difference between the shows, even though they were very different. But I can't tell the difference, so why would I pick one over the other? All right. This is it. This is the thing that triggered me into thinking and realizing that my suspicions have been confirmed. He is making Star Trek for people who don't like Star Trek and don't watch Star Trek. No Trekkie is going to be like, I'm going to pick DS9 over the other, or I'm going to pick DS9 over Voyager, or Voyager over DS9, because I can't tell the difference. That's I can't tell the difference, so why would I pick one over the other? they're such different shows. They're almost different universes. They're almost different. How do I explain this without completely breaking my brain here? You completely don't get it, Alex Kurtzman. You really, really don't get it. Star Trek fans are not picking one over the other because they can't tell the difference. They were picking Voyager over Deep Space Nine because Deep Space Nine was this very kind of heavy, dark, war-driven series, you know, kind of like what you're trying to make. Not doing a very good job of it, but that's what Deep Space Nine was. And Voyager was the space exploration show. It was just from reverse. They're trying to get home. But they explored along the way. They took detours. They did all kinds of things to kind of offset their journey. So for fans, or for the people you've surveyed or talked to or are exampling here, who are like, I can't tell the difference between Voyager and Deep Space Nine, so I don't know which one to choose. Those aren't Star Trek fans. You're making Star Trek for those people who are not even Star Trek fans. It's right there in blue and white. Plain as day. Our job is to make sure it feels like a very different prospect from any other Trek show that exists. In the same way, in the world of Marvel or in the world of Pixar, you have multiple stories coexisting, although each one feels different, while there's an assumption and an understanding of what the brand identity of what the thing is. Well, see, that's the difference between Marvel and Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is just any generic, badly written space show for millennials and for this kind of woke audience and for people who aren't really Star Trek fans, but they just have the Star Trek logo just slapped across the ass of the ship, right? You don't get it. You don't get it. Also, Pixar are not all in the same universe, I believe. I think a lot of the Pixar movies just happen to be made by Pixar. I don't believe they're, like, in the same universe. The world of Pixar. Yeah, that's not even... does he really think that the Pixar movies are in the same universe? I don't think all of them are. I think some of them kind of are, but there's, like, little Easter eggs. I don't know enough about Pixar to know that, so I shouldn't even nitpick, but... Every time you go to a Marvel movie, you kind of know what you're going to get. But one could be Ragnarok, one could be Black Panther, and one could be Iron Man, and all of those have a very different feel, but there's always a premium on the storytelling. And, here we go with the ands. He's doing this again, starting with sentences with and. And, even though all of their films are different, the one thing you can always expect when you go to a Pixar movie is that the story is going to be great. I want us to all elevate Trek to that place. Oh, you got a long way to go. You need to start with, like, basic storytelling. You need to get your ass out of the editing room. Get some competent writer. Hire some people who are passionate about it. Hire some people who are losing their shit on YouTube about it. You know, somebody who actually can identify with characters and relate to stories. That might be a good idea. I don't know. So, when you go to watch the show, the expectation is we're going to have great storytelling. The kinds of stories are going to be different, and the way they're told is going to be different. But I want to build Trek to where people assume that about it. To where people assume that about it. You want to build Trek. Oh, sweetie. Alex Kurtzman. This is your fault. This is why people don't assume that Trek is about great storytelling anymore. Because you fucked it up. You screwed the pooch on that. You just dug up the corpse of Star Trek. Like, I've said this many times on other videos. You've propped it onto the couch after backing over it a few times in the driveway. Stuck it on the couch. Didn't even bother to spray it down with Lysol or anything. And you know, it's got the bodily fluids oozing out of the orifices. One eyeball's hanging out. The dog goes up to it and sniffs it and then takes a giant leak on the side of it because it smells bad and needs to kind of mark it. That's what you did to Star Trek. Now people used to assume Star Trek had good storytelling. Now, I don't even know how to title this video now. Are we confirming that Star Trek's written for people who don't like Star Trek? Or that you really screwed the pooch and you're making it not about storytelling and you have to actually fix that now? Which thing are you admitting? Because I can try and squeeze that in the title here of the video now. Oh, holy crap. What do you guys think in the comment section below? Am I reading a little too much into this? I tend to read what their intent is and what words they're choosing to use. And that's really, really concerning to me that he doesn't know any of this. There's also, if you have listened to that entire Variety interview, please listen to that Variety video if you have any investment emotionally in Star Trek, if you care about it. It is 40 minutes long, but it really sheds a lot of light into the inner workings of Alex and Kurtzman and Star Trek Discovery and all of the things he's talking about, and how he likes to focus on editing and visual effects, and how now he's trying to actually get Star Trek known as being something about stories. If I were them, I wouldn't put this out there. This is not something. I mean, maybe the writer of this is like trying to throw us a bone. Maybe Jamie Lovett's on our side. Maybe he's like, screw this. I'm tired of this crappy Star Trek. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. There's going to be probably a lot of Star Trek news this week because Discovery is coming back. If you guys find any other news stories, let me know. Send them to me on Twitter. I always like seeing them. Twitter is the best place because YouTube comments just get so buried. Thank you guys for commenting, though. I do try my best to get through and read as many of them as I can. I can't always respond to them, but even if I don't heart them, sometimes I still am reading and kind of scrolling through before bed, because sometimes my phone messes up and it ends up clicking on it, so I don't even heart them anymore. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm Mecha42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!